$80 million budget, percentage-wise, it's not huge, and it's all accounted for.
Yes.
I mean, it's all right there in black and white, exactly where the overages are.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that's what we do as a board. We're the accountability factor. We put the guidelines in place.
Yep.
And then we just make sure that everything's good and you guys aren't willy-nilly spending. So I'm okay with the process, I think it's okay. I mean,
It's just the reality
It's
of
just-
controllable versus non-controllable.
right, yeah, and it's not the public school system, it's just an organization with millions of dollars in budget. With how many employees? 500 employees? Yeah. So it's not bad,
Yeah.
really.
And legal requirements to educate every child, and those numbers change over the course of a year.
I think the difference is, though, when there's like a big expense, like $1 million difference that wasn't accounted for charter. It's good to know that. Not that we can do anything about it, but as government officials, which we are, we can advocate the state to say, hey, this needs looked at because this threw a curveball to, or talk to our state representatives or something to get more involved.
I
Right?
have tried and tried, but if you want to try.
Well, I'm just
myself
saying
out.
it does bring it to the public attention.
I
mean,
understand.
you can't go fight the battle yourself,
You're
but
not
if you had an army to help you, maybe there's a voice in that says, hey, listen, we can't be the only one that this is happening to. That would be the only difference in making it public. Maybe there's something there where you do get arsenal. But on a different note, real quick, utilities.
Yes.
So like as a resident, and I may be totally off base, but there's like utility programs we can pick every 6 months, every year.
Right.
Like there's many different companies on rates.
Right.
Do we do that?
Yes, we do. We hedge. We hedge with the LIU. It's a consortium, so we hedge our rates.
Okay.
So yeah, we do that.
On the cyber charter reform, I do want to mention too, another positive note, PSBA, since I'm the PSBA liaison, they are fighting tooth and nail on Capitol Hill for reform, like it's one of their number one
Good.
things that, their attorneys and their organization are very heavily, they're at it all the time. So it's a big issue that's, that people are aware of, and they really are. They're fighting for it, but they're fighting a big company with lots of money and lobbyists, so
Lots and lots of lobbying.
lots of lobbying. Yeah.
In the State House is what you're talking about, right? Not Capitol Hill? Are they?
I'm sorry.
State House.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Harrisburg. Harrisburg.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yeah.
And I know I spoke to our utility broker with regards to the increases I was seeing, because I monitor gas and electricity. I monitor the kilowatt hours per month. So that's where I'm seeing the fluctuation in the cost per kilowatt hour go up or down. The same thing with the cost of the usage for gas. And what he said was the increases are due to replacement of infrastructure. So apparently a lot of the infrastructure was put in place in the 1970s, and now it's all coming due at the same time. So that's causing the increases, one of the increases. One of the other increases is the lack of generators. So you think about now everything we have, all the technology, all the space we need, everything we need to process. We don't have enough generators for everything that's out there, and that's causing the increase in rates too.
Any other questions or comments from Mrs. Weaver?
Okay, I can keep going? Okay. Did it turn off? I think it turned off. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about state budget highlights. Basic ed funding, $105 million increase, which was 30 more than the original proposal. Dover received 28,000 more than the original budget, governor's budget, or 1/5%. Special education funding, there was $40 million increase, which was same as the original budget proposal. Ready to Learn, $565 million increase. That's $39 million more than the original proposal. However, the district received $300 less. Safety grants, $100 million. Facility grants, $125 million. And myself and Mr. Fluke will be waiting for the applications to open up for the facility grant so that we can jump on it for this year. Cyber charter reform. So what this is going to be is we don't like to use the word savings. It's a cost avoidance. So what they did is they added additional deductions. So you take your budget, or we take our budget, the Dover budget, and we have certain deductions in order to come up with the bottom line that is allocated amongst ADM or, let's say, students. So they increased the deductions. So one of the additional deductions is regular ed cyber costs, taxation and collection costs. And what that is that's what we pay the tax collectors to collect our taxes. It's what we pay to print the bills, it's the postage, it is the fees we paid to, for EIT collections. It's the fees we paid to York County for delinquent taxes and realty transfer taxes. 60% of student activity costs, 60% of plant maintenance and operation costs, and that's facilities. So that's really the main brunt of that is Tom. And what they also did was remove the cyber charter ADMs from the calculation. And I think that was in order to shore it up because we removed the cost of the cyber charter for regular ed. They also removed the cyber charter ADMs from the calculation. The one thing that will help Dover is there's a new way to calculate the special ed cyber charter tuition. You can calculate it currently as it stands, or you can take 1.89% of the regular ed cyber cost. And that will save us approximately $7,000 per student, special ed student.
How many special ed students do we have?
We had now it's approximate because as you know, they come in and come out and with the bills, but we had approximately last year 52.
About 350,000.
Yeah, approximately 52.
Any questions? The Austin.
What percentage rate are you getting on the general fund right now?
It depends on, we've locked some of it up, obviously. Then we're going to lock up more now that we're receiving the state subsidies that are coming in again. Around a 4.2.
I remember. You mentioned grants, and I was just curious if you have heard or been sent any information in regards to the solar panels for schools, because I know that was a big deal last year. I think there was success with it, but I know we had issues and concerns
Right.
thinking about a roof structure, whether
Right.
or not it would, void the warranty on the high school
Right,
roof, all
right.
that. So have we done some research, like if that grant were to open, would we go for it? Would we?
I mean, we'd have the same situation we did last year. So if the board was willing to entertain it, I could look into it and bring it back.
I think I did see a solar.
It is, yes, but we could bring it back. We could if the board was interested
It
in.
sounds like they are going to offer that grant again.
I think so too, and I remember many articles recent that a lot of schools that took part in it, I think it was so successful, that's why they're bringing it back. So I think what we could do as a, going forward, getting ready for that, is to find out what other schools have experienced through their process of initiating that in their district, what, hiccups or issues or things they didn't think about or that we should probably glean from before getting into it. Because to me, if electric's going to continue to go up, which we don't know at this point where we're going to go with that, but just makes sense to invest in something that'll save us money. If solar is that, then, and there's the opportunity with grants,
Yeah.
it just seems like a good choice.
Okay. So will you be looking into that?
I absolutely, if the board would like me to, I can, sure, no problem.
Is there additional interest from the rest
Yeah,
of the members?
I'm definitely interested. So there is somebody so what about like getting someone to look at that and recommend who's had success with it? We might want to, we know someone like who had said that they did it for a school, and that might be someone we could reach out to get help. I'm just saying, I think it's an excellent opportunity, an excellent idea. I think the drawback was the initial investment. 'Cause
It was,
We had
yes.
to put forth some money, and we weren't willing to do that, but
Right.
that would be the only drawback.
Yeah, and I do believe too, because we had, had approved the facility study. And so I think that was the other caveat, was waiting for the results of the facility study so that we could balance out what we had in cap reserve.
We also had a short timeline,
Yeah, it was a very short
It was
timeline.
30
yes,
days
was.
or so.
It was very short.
so I think we should take the time in the next year to spend the time researching it and having a proper decision.
What, do we have a year? If that offer's out now,
I will look into it, and we'll see what the time limit is. It was very quick because it was the first year, but maybe it's a little more extended. Maybe it's extended this year.
okay. All right, excellent. Anything else from members? Okay, thank you, Mrs. Weaver. Appreciate that.
All right, President Conley, I'd like to request the floor.
Yes, Director McKinney.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to add an agenda item to vote on the settlement agreement number 111-82025 discussed in the executive session preceding this meeting.
Okay, give me that number again, please.
It was number 111-82025.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
So a motion by Director McKinney, there's a second by Director Wolverton. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Allman, let me know when you have that whole motion captured, and I'll ask you to put it up on the board.
I can repeat if necessary.
Says motion to revise agenda to include settlement agreement.
Okay. All right.
That's
motion-
adequate.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay. So is there any discussion? All right. The motion to revise the agenda is on the floor. We'll decide where we want to put this on the agenda. If it's approved, probably towards the end of the agenda. I would
I'd probably
suggest
make it 9.07.
9.07 would be fine. All right. Mrs. Allman, please call the vote.
Eight, yes.
Motion carries. Mrs. Almond, could you please add that agenda item to agenda item 9.07?
Yes.
Thank you. Public comment period is open. This will be a 30-minute period for members of the public to make comment with items germane to our district business. Comments should be civil and respectful. The first period will be 30 minutes. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to present their views at the podium. When you approach the podium, please state your name and address. And during the second course of the meeting, we will have a second public comment period as well. Each speaker will be entitled to speak up to 2 minutes for a 30-minute period. Is anyone seeking to make public comment?
Hello, Susan Hamburger, Schoolhouse Road. Last week's meeting, I'm pretty sure I heard it said that you expect the facilities study to be done in February. Was that correct? And if it is, I'm curious as to what's taking so long, because it feels like that's been over a year that study has been in process. I'm curious also if the roofs are still leaking and if the ceiling tiles are falling. And if they are, then why are we taking a year to complete a facility study? My other comment is, a question was asked by President Conley, and I got the impression that what you were actually asking, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought what you were actually asking was if we didn't have that 2.8 million extra revenue, where would the money come from? And I don't think that question was ever answered. And I'm curious as to that too. It's like, where would that money come from? I understand that there are things that we have to spend money on that, we don't have a choice about, but was that your question?
Yes.
Because it wasn't answered. Did you think it was answered? I'm not supposed to ask you that, I'm sorry. Anyway, that was all I had to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hamburger. We can help out with one thing. When are we expecting the facility study to be done, Director Meese?
Yeah, it should be completed in February and brought to the board in March. I believe we approved that company to do the study, I'm saying maybe 5 months ago. So it has not been over a year. It hasn't even been half a year. And the reason it's taking so long is they are fine-tooth combing every nook and cranny, both inside and outside of every single district building. So I believe I'm not sure, but like 20 feet outside of the building, and then another company has to come in and do outside of that. So they're even getting into the nitty-gritty of how many stacked cars there are during drop-off and pickup to see if we need to reorient how the traffic flow is at each building. So it's very, very detailed, and it involves several different types of engineering companies and skill sets. So let's say, for example, the stage. So the stage, we have to get a special company in to evaluate the curtains. Do the curtains need replaced? Are they too heavy for the brackets? Like, is the stage polished? Or, you know what I mean? Like the bleachers, we had to get a different company in to evaluate the bleachers and the quality of the bleachers. So it's very intensive. It's a fine tooth comb. And so we definitely want to make sure we give them enough time to really look at every single little nook and cranny so that we can project what our expenses are going to be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I appreciate that, Director.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes.
Okay, so for the record, if we push it on time for this first public comment period, we can extend that.
Yeah, I apologize
So-
for my
No,
lengthy
that's
explanation.
okay. No, that's a good explanation. We probably all needed to hear that. So we can extend the time if need be. Anyone else seeking to make public comment?
Elaine Croft, East Canal Street, and I'm here on behalf of Dover Bethany Global Methodist Church, 4510 Bull Road. And I believe you've received the letter and tax assessment change form that I had submitted, just asking for forgiveness of the overpayment of school taxes based on our previous and our future tax base. This past year was just an oversight. We changed names. Tax assessment saw that as a sale. So they sent a form which we overlooked, did not fill it out, and they jacked our taxes up a lot. So we're just asking if that money could be forgiven for 25.
Okay, I appreciate that. Elaine, what was your last name? I didn't get it written down quickly enough.
You know me, Croft.
Croft. Thank you very much, Mrs. Croft. All right. Anyone else seeking to make public comment?
Doug McGurn, I signed in. I wanted to thank Director Whitmer and Meese for your service over the last 4 years. Heidi, I know we've had some conversations outside and we never saw eye to eye all the time, but we had good conversations. It was good give and take.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Sorry.
Comments, we shouldn't be exchanging conversation directly with individual directors according to policy.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Director Emig and Director Wolverton, for your continued service, and congratulations again, Director Emig, on your 20 plus years with the district. It shows your dedication, as well as you, Director Wolverton, for serving another 4 years. I'd like to congratulate the new board members that got voted in. Tyler, I know you have young kids in the district. I would encourage you to be active within the schools, listen to the teachers, listen to other parents, listen to the administration within the school, listen to the district administration, hear their concerns, hear their needs, listen and act upon those needs, and serve in the best interests of the community and for the children that you'll be serving. The discussion on the budget, I don't understand, because on page 7, clearly defined the expenditures with the 3.6 million shortfall. If you look at it, it's like Director Mee said, with any sort of business, I think you're referring to zero-based budgeting, President Connolly. I don't know that businesses or governments operate that way. You're going to have expenses, and things are going to go outside your margins. A $2.8 million shortfall is 3.5% of this budget. Is that acceptable? I don't know. But you're going to have shortfalls. And again, you have rising costs all around. And then with a big part of it, 3.9 million for cyber education, that's something we've been expressing our concern with for years, that we need to limit that. And with the passing of the new budget, hopefully that'll be tackled, and there are more constraints on cyber education that'll push back more help to the public education. And with that being said, also, I think these aha moments, just like tonight, we're going to be voting on a middle school track team, additional expenditures when we're not covering the bills. I mean, that's concerning. I think it was brought up in the last meeting that we're looking at a half a year where our paraprofessionals aren't getting paid. And from my understanding, we're one of the lowest paid districts in the county to pay our paraprofessionals. I mean, these are the people that are coming to help our students, help our teachers, and give our kids the quality education they deserve.
Thank you, Mr. McGurn. Anyone else?
Hello, Shyla Kramer, Tower Drive. Just want to second the cyber charter. I do know that people were up here before expressing concerns over that. I do have experience in that field. I was there for 13 years as a teacher. Obviously, these new changes I'm not as familiar with, but if anybody has questions about how that ship kind of runs, I'm happy to share with the current board members or new members coming up. I'm happy to sit down and share what I know about that world. But going to the legislators, speaking with the legislators is what we need to do, not only as individuals, as many of us have already been doing, but as a board, if you want to help these kids, help our district get some funds back here, it's going to take a group effort on that front. The second thing I wanted to echo was the professionals contract. Again, almost 6 months without a contract. These are the folks that give the teachers the breaks at lunch. They're doing lunch duty, they're doing cafe duty. They are the lifeblood of our schools. Without them, teachers aren't going to be able to do what teachers need to do. And I'd really hope that within the negotiations that there's some movement and this can be wrapped up for them, for the community, and for the other people in the school districts as well, because they deserve every single penny they earn.
Thank you, Ms. Kramer. Anyone else seeking to make public comment?
Maria Wirtz, Jody Lane. First, I'd like to say thank you, ma'am. We may not have always seen eye to eye on things, but you have brought a freshness. And over your time that you've been here, you have also showed a way for the rest of the board to get together.
Yeah, just-
Secondly,
Just direct your comments right here. I know that you're passing
I
praise to
just
that.
wanted
Yeah.
to make sure she knew I was talking to her.
Okay.
Secondly, as far as the charter schools are concerned, there's one way we can stop having our kids going away to other charter schools. It's not to eliminate the Dover Charter School, it's to promote the Dover Charter School and show that our test scores that our charter students are taking are better than the test scores of the other charter schools out there. Every time a student leaves Dover and goes to a charter school, the very first thing that happens at that charter school is to have them either sign up for an IEP, they're tested immediately, and given an IEP. Right there takes more money out of our budget. That's what needs to happen. We need to start promoting the good that is in our charter schools so that parents don't want to take the 50 kids out of Dover and send them to charter schools, but wants to use the Dover charter schools. Then the students that are leaving because their parents don't want them to do the work, when they are 12th graders or would be 12th graders here in Dover, they should be kicked out. We should not have to pay for a child to go to a charter school 13, 14 years into it just because they didn't pass the required courses. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wirt. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. The public comment period is closed. Under Board President's communication, on October 21st, we held an executive session to discuss personnel issues and legal issues. On November 11th, we had two executive sessions, one before the meeting and one after the meeting to discuss legal issues. Earlier, before this session tonight, we had an executive session to discuss legal issues and labor issues, and we will be meeting immediately following to discuss the same. The first action item under finances is resolution for refunding bonds. All of that material is in public content. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Director Emig moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Wolverton seconds the motion. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Almond, please call the vote.
Eight yes.
Motion carries. Under the consent agenda, there are a number of issues: the dental exam agreement, the field trip for FFA, obsolete listing, and the 2 minutes for both the October 14th meeting and the October 21st meeting. Are there any items in the consent agenda any director would like to have removed from the consent agenda? All right, are there any corrections, edits, or deletions from the minutes? All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, Director Emig moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Wolverton seconds the motion. Any discussion? All right, Mrs. Almond, please call the vote.
8 yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Almond. Motion carries. Consent agenda, human resources, agenda item 8.01. Are there any items out of the consent agenda that any director would like to have removed? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda for human resources?
So moved.
Director Emig moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Wolverton seconds the motion. Is there any discussion? All right, Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Director Whitmer, your vote, please. Eight yes.
Thank you, and the motion carries. Section number 9, agenda item 9.01, request for tax forgiveness. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Director Emig moves. Second.
Second.
Director Wolverton, any discussion? Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Eight yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Mrs. Crofton, to the church. Agenda item 9.02, approval to advertise non-school sponsored trip to Japan for a tour. It's a proposal for 2027 during the summer. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Director Emig moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Wolverton seconds the motion. Is there any discussion?
Do we need to examine our policy on advertising trips and organizations to see if this fits into it? Should we take some time to look at that?
We've been under some advice by counsel, and you have all been provided that. I think I plan to oppose it if it goes to a vote, but if it, I think it would be probably more appropriate if we tabled this motion, because I think there's some ramifications that we need to be very careful and deliberate about and make sure our policies, I'm not opposed to the trip at all, none whatsoever. But I think we need to make sure we don't cause a problem. I think there's been a long tradition of approving these types of things. Dr. Houck, how long has the school been doing this type of thing? Do you know? Does anyone else know?
I know we did it last year, but before that, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I remember when they briefed it last year that they had done similar trips and had, so it's been done in the past.
It has.
I'm not sure how many times, but I think there's some concerns that we probably want to make sure we dot our I's on this one, and hopefully we can maybe do that in a timely enough manner to act on this. Because it's been discussed publicly, I think the word is out. So I'm not really worried about at this point that the word's not out. And I think there's some materials that people that are interested in going, they know where to get that information for the short term. So we're not really going to hurt our students that are interested in it. But I think it would be better if we tabled this.
So I'd like to make a motion to table this item 9.02 until a future meeting to gather more information.
You already have a motion to approve this.
You're right. We should
So
probably
you have to vote on
amend.
this before you can move on to something else.
No, as a point of order, she's making a motion to table the main motion. This is something that's routine in Robert's Rules of Order, which we operate by. And so it's the motion to table is in order.
Okay.
So we have a motion to table by Director Whitmer. Is there a second on the motion to table?
I'll second.
Okay, Director Kendig seconds the motion. Now, is there any discussion on the motion to table? So the board has the option to approve this motion, which means table it, and we'll do the further research. The board also has the option of saying, no, we don't want to table it, and defeat the motion to table by voting no when it comes to a vote. So is there any discussion on the motion to table?
If we were to approve the advertisement and then have discussion on maybe moving forward, more in detail what the way this should go because of what it kind of opens up or doesn't open up, that whole can of worms. So if we were to approve it, we could still amend like whatever policies or whatever's in place to constrain what type of advertising is done moving forward.
So your comments are on the main motion. This is on a motion to table, but to reframe, I think what you're asking is if we were to defeat the motion to table and go back to the main motion and then subsequently approve that, would we be okay with the concerns that we have? So we have some concerns that have been expressed by the administration, and as well we have some legal counsel which we're not at liberty to speak about in public because that's confidential information. I think we need to give, we trust our solicitor and we want to give, I think, due consideration of the expression of concerns that he's brought forward to us. So, the board's empowered to do whatever we want to do. But, did we walk across a tripwire, without considering? Yes, the answer is yes, we could. We could trip the wire, but is that what we want to do right now?
I think it's appropriate to table just because in looking at this situation, I think we realize there's a lot more that needs discussed, and that just gives us time to do that.
I agree. I'm not against the trip at all.
Right.
We're not approving the trip. We're approving the advertisement of a trip, and the solicitor had expressed concerns and gave us some advice that I believe we should consider. So that's what the public may not be aware of now, and we can't discuss it, but that's the whole point of this discussion is the solicitor gave us some advice on this route.
One of the things that you did make a distinction about, which is correct, is the main motion, which is the approval to advertise, is not an approval or disapproval of the trip. The board doesn't have any authority to disapprove the trip. This is a trip that's going to be taken outside of school hours during the summer. It's being sponsored by an outside organization. It's going to be advertised outside. Anyone that wants to pay the fee to go on the tour can literally go as long as you meet the qualifications. The offering to our students was with some qualifications, which they're perfectly entitled to add those qualifications to our students. I think part of the qualifications and this is all in public content, so I'm not speaking out of school here, but they had to take certain classes, make certain benchmarks in those classes in order to qualify to go on the tour. But any parent could go, any board member or any member that is in the public or in the administration, anybody could go. So we would never be in a position to tell somebody they can't sponsor a tour and take a whole group to Japan or any place else in the world. That main question was only, can they advertise this, I don't know if proprietary trip, but I guess for whatever word is appropriate. Can you think of the right word for this? This is an outside business.
Non-school sponsored.
Non-school sponsored trip, which I guess is what's in the item there. Anybody can do that, but can they advertise it in the school? It's a closed audience. So that's the question there. So going back to the motion to table, is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, Mrs. Allman, please poll the vote.
The motion does not say to table, it
No,
says to approve.
It does in the small print there. So it's a subsequent motion
Okay,
to table the main motion.
make sure before I voted.
Okay. So a motion or a vote yes means yes table. A vote no means no, you don't want to table, you want to return to the main motion.
Mine disappeared.
I got an error
Realizing that.
message when I tried to vote.
Mine just disappeared.
It's back up. Motion to table.
Is it back? Are you able to
It's
vote?
back,
Okay.
yes. Mine's back.
Are you able-
Mine did not come back.
Okay, would you like to do a voice vote?
Pardon?
Voice vote, please.
My vote is yes.
Director Whitmer, your vote, please.
Oh, did you go through? I mean, yes.
Five yes, three no.
Motion is tabled. Agenda item 9.03, field trip request, high school district chorus students to attend the PMEA District 7 Chorus Festival at Boiling Springs High School, January 9 through 10, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Director Amig moves. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Director McKinney seconds the motion. Any discussion?
This, Jackson's one of the kids.
Is that
He
right?
made this picture.
Oh, that's
So I
great.
assume
Him and
you'll-
another,
I assume you'll vote yes then?
yes. I'll be voting yes.
You have to abstain.
Do I?
No.
Oh.
It depends.
All right, no discussion. Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Eight yes.
Motion carries. Agenda item 9.04, memorandum of understanding with DAEA for flexible instruction days. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Director Emick moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Wolverton seconds the motion. Any discussion?
I'm not opposed to the memorandum. It's kind of an insurance policy that we need. I would just suggest or ask that we keep it as much to a minimum as we can, because I believe it's better to have the students in class, in the school building, than do these flexible instruction days.
Any further discussion? All right, Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote. Give me just a minute.
Eight yes.
Motion carries. Agenda item 9.05, agreement with Allegheny Intermediate Unit for TransPerfect Remote Interpreting Services, February 10, 2026 through February 9th, 2027. Is there a motion to approve? Maybe it might help. Dr. Houck, could you frame this up for us?
Sure. This is a service that we use very, very sparingly. It's basically when we need impromptu translation services. So, for instance, a parent shows up at the offices and doesn't speak English, and we need to be able to interact with them. Or if a child gets sick during school and we need to call that parent, so it's that on-the-spot, on-demand translation. So we would only use it, very sparingly when we need it. If we can pre-plan, like parent conferences, we wouldn't use that. We would use something that's a little more, a little cheaper, but.
What languages do they?
They have a whole menu of
variety.
languages, yeah.
And so the cost on this are 95 cents per minute, and if it goes video, it's $3.25 per minute. What is an average conversation? Somebody shows up, they're probably enrolling their students. This could be something that could be like an hour or more.
Not usually. If they're enrolling, we can set up an appointment when we can get a different translator. It's really going to be more for more emergent situations, like the child gets sick at school and we need to call the parent and make sure that the parent understands what we're saying.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mrs. Allman, please poll the vote.
We need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Director Emig,
I'll second.
okay. Director Whitmer seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Point well taken, Director Kendick. Please poll the vote.
Eight yes.
Motion carries. Agenda item 9.06, Junior High Track Program MOU. Now, this is not approving the Junior High Track Program. This is approving the MOU to operate. All right, is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve 9.06.
Director McKinney moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Director Kendig seconds the motion. Any discussion?
Yeah, I need clarification on the statement you had made, because the motion is to approve establishment of a junior high track program. And the memo of understanding that goes along with that.
I stand corrected on that. You're correct. So this is a two-part motion, a motion to approve the establishment of the junior high track program and the attached MOU. In addition, you have some executive content that has some analysis. I'm sorry, an MOU there in that agreement as well. Is that the same MOU? That's, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Just put in both places. Let me zero this back out. All right. Floor is open for discussion.
Well, I guess my only question is, could we establish the program now and not implement it? Could we approve the program and not implement it? As in, yes, we want it. When the budget discussions start for this next year, like budget it in, make sure we can do that? Like, or does that have to be approved, budgeted for all at the same time? Does that make sense?
You could amend the motion to add the qualifier to be implemented in future fiscal year.
Right.
You could do that.
Given light of discussion that we've already had saying that this wasn't planned for, that we want to stick to our budget process and policy, then it just seems to me that it's moving in the direction of making more sense that we plan ahead, see where we're at for next year, but we know we want it, we know there's plenty of interest in it, we know we want to support that. So if there is an amendment we can make that we can approve the establishment now, then we know we're going to plan for that in the budget season coming up. So the MOU will be approved, the program will be approved, it'll just be then moving forward with it once the budget has been calculated for that program. Am I making sense?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I like that approach. Normally, I don't like mid-year budget additions myself, but this, I'll echo what I've been saying all along. This is going to be an incredibly beneficial program for students. It's going to help them academically, physically, emotionally, all of that. I would love to get it approved and put in the plans for next year, so it's a sure thing for next year. We talked to Dr. Wiesling last week. That would not hinder it. It would actually be a perfect timing for them to jump into the new league scheduled 2-year cycle. So I would be okay with amending it for that purpose. I like your wording.
We've had a lot of feedback. We've had a lot of discussions. I know that for the majority of the board, it was a positive response. Dave talked about the track team in the 70s. We're one of 2 schools I remember that don't have a junior high track team. Mm-hmm. Carmen, you've also been for it. Rob, Heidi, I believe you have too. Mm-hmm. But my point is, we had $2.7 million, in expenditures. We have $100,000 revenue that went back to our fund balance. $100,000 that now we're credited, but yet we don't have $6,000 to spend on 3 coaches. Mm-hmm. So my point is, I think the benefit, I'm going to advocate for music, I'm going to advocate for DECA, I'm going to advocate anything extracurricular that's going to benefit the kid. And right now I feel like we beat this horse to death, but I say we go with 3 coaches ranging between $6,000 and $10,000 in the expenses. And, that's my vote.
Yeah, if it comes
Say
up
we
for,
do it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, if it comes up for a vote tonight, I'll vote yes, because we did have unfilled coaching positions in the fall. That was unspent funds that was budgeted. The money is there to cover this for the remainder of the school year. So if we're going to get it started up this year with some exhibition meets, the money is there. We're not overspending our budget. We're just reallocating it from the fall to the spring, basically. I didn't feel I had the total board support to get it done this year. That's why I'm being flexible and saying let's definitely get it in stone for next year. Either way, I'm going to support it, though, for the students' benefit.
The attachment says 26-27 and 27-28 PIAA schedule. So that would be for next year's budget.
That 2026 would be the spring. That's when track is.
But that's
right?
the next school.
I read that as the school year, the 2026-2027 school year. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's how it was meant.
If I could,
That's a budget estimate.
if I could interject, I do believe from talking to Dr. Weisling that that's why you do exhibitions right now this spring, because of the fact that the 2-year cycle does not start till next year.
Okay.
So that is why it says those. So it is next.
I do remember him
Yes,
saying that.
yes. So that's why it's the exhibitions.
Yeah, the schedules have been set. It's just too late to get in on the schedule. But the experience would be beneficial if we could get them up and running this year.
If I can make a recommendation of what we could do, is you can vote on whether you want to start it now, yes or no. And then I can certainly add it to the budget. I will highlight that I have added it to the budget for next year. And then you can let me know whether you want to keep it in next year's budget or cut it. But at this point, I think as an administration, we just want to know, do you want us to start it or not? And I'm happy to add it to the budget for next year and make sure that I highlight that for you.
Yeah, and as I pointed out, it's not an additional expense if we do it this year because we have unhired coaching positions, unspent budget money that will just shift. So,
Counting magic, right?
yeah.
But if we're going to vote on this, I'm with the other director that reads it, and it says 26, 27, which says to me, July 1 of 26, this would then take effect.
So I think I understand it, Director Kindig. So we'd have to hire coaches and buy equipment to do exhibitions. So this is just to compete in the PIAA schedule. So we wouldn't be able to do that this school year, but we would still need to have the coaches and the equipment.
No, we don't. No, we don't need to do that and have the equipment and the
Well,
coaches.
yeah, we don't, no.
We can wait until the 26, 27
Right,
fiscal
we can,
year.
yeah.
We approve it effective July 1. We've approved that the junior high track program can start whenever. This idea that, well, we need exhibitions this year,
Right.
that's not what this.
That's
not
what I
this
wanted
is saying to
clarification
me.
on. Yeah.
This says 26, 27, and for me, I had said, I'm on the fence on this. I believe in exercise. I think our children, on average, need more exercise. They need to be outside exercising, get off these phones, get their bodies in shape, whatever. So I'm for that. But I can't, in good conscience, say, well, we're in the middle of a budget year, we're going to just incur this additional cost when there's no reason to do that. So I'm willing to support it, but my support is it starts July 1st, 2026, which is not all that far off.
It looks like the document shows 4 away games and 3 home events. I'm not sure, but that to me was indicating the exhibition games for the spring. And that was the whole point of having the agenda today, so it gives the time to put the coaches in place and set the program for the exhibition games in the spring. So that's my understanding of why we're even talking about it tonight.
Dr. Weisling presented to us last week that if we were to approve this for next fiscal year, that gives him opportunity in August or September to sit down with the rest of the county.
That's only for the schedule. That's not for getting the track program started. That's only for the schedule.
Again, Alan, Director Hogan, I don't understand the urgency of why it's got to be done and become effective tomorrow.
I mean, I get your point, but I'm just saying the whole point that we're even having this discussion tonight is so that we can get it started and get it moving. We have the track kids ready to go. I mean, there's a ton of benefit pushing it a little bit quicker. It gets them prepared for high school quicker. It's the whole mindset around having a premier sports program. which we're striving to do in all areas of our school, whether it's academics, whether it's music, whether it's sports. That's the whole point. I mean, obviously you can set it aside and say we can push it back, but then why are we even having this discussion tonight?
We've got a presentation from the administration. They put together this document, and it says budget for the 26-27 and 27-28 schedule, PIAA schedule. That's part of the reason I raised the question. We as a board need to be very clear on what we're voting on. Because if some of us are voting that if we approve this, tomorrow they can recruit coaches and do whatever, and some of us are voting on this thinking, well, July 1st this takes effect. So we need clarification on what we're actually voting on, and that'll determine my vote for sure.
So I think we can clarify this. So if the motion is approved as written, they have a track program immediately. They can start implementing. The estimates there in that attachment are just information provided us that talks about what their costs would be in a future year. But they will have a program immediately, which means they can begin spending money in this year. If we amend the budget with a certain specific start time, then no money can be spent until that time.
Well, I respectfully disagree with your interpretation, because I'm reading what the administration put in here. It says estimated budget for 26-27. I remember Dr. Weisling speaking last week, and there was a bunch of discussion on it, and he said, you know, if you folks would approve it, that we could start it next fiscal year, that would work out really well, because I'm going to sit down with the rest of the county and work on schedules and everything, and we could get this program set up that we have a schedule for 2 or 3 years, whatever he normally does.
Yeah, I have an answer to that. At the top of the document, it says, when a new junior high sports is introduced during a PIAA cycle, the athletic director generally reaches out to the existing junior high schools that host meets to request approval for the new team to compete in exhibition at their scheduled events. So this clearly, the line items below that is the cost for the exhibition. So that's the intent.
And the MOU does not have a start date. So we would have to fill in the start date.
So if we approve it tonight,
Today's date would go in that start date in the MOU.
matter of fact, the MOU will come to me immediately following the meeting. So, as stated here, there's no governing regulatory authority in this estimate. It's telling us what our costs would be. So if we approve the motion as written, then they are authorized to begin right away to start reaching out to other folks, because we are within a cycle. The new cycle, the 2-year cycle, doesn't start until next year. So the athletic director would reach out and see if they can get some exhibition games set up. If they start inside a cycle, there's no need for exhibition games. They can start competing because we will be in the cycle. And we would be on the calendar with other teams that we would be competing with in meets instead of exhibition meets. So I think all we need to be clear about is when we want it to start. If we pass the motion as is, the school district has authority to go ahead and do it.
And there would be benefit to passing now with a start date of July 1st, if that's our intent, so it can be included in the budget, because we're about to start the budget any day now. So that needs to be, it would be an anticipated cost for the administration to include.
I advocate that we put a date on it, a start date. And I think it should coincide with a budget year.
I concur with that.
And I think that's, not to speak for Dr. Houck, but I think that's what she said in so many words at our last meeting, during the planning meeting, is this is off budget for this year. So if we ask her to start a program, she has no budgeted funds to start a program this year. Am I correct in stating basically what you were saying to us last week?
I mean, is the money there? Yes, it is, because we had some unfilled positions. But yes, you are correct that this was not budgeted. So this is an add to our budget, and I would have to find, even moving forward, I'm going to have to find that money somewhere or increase the budget is really what I said.
So sounds like we are trending towards starting it next school year. And I like Director Whitmer's recommendation a lot about putting that start date on there and amending the motion to include a start date. Because we do not have one on either the MOA or the budget attachment. So that needs to be clearly defined.
Dr. McKinney, would you like to make a motion to amend?
Yeah, I'll make a
certain
motion
date?
to amend the vote to include a start date for the program of July 1st, 2026.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Director Kendig seconds the motion. So the discussion now is on the motion to amend. Any discussion on the motion to amend?
Just in regards to the MOU, does that need amended as well? Because there's a 2025 date on there for signing.
So if we add, it depends on where we add the motion to amend. If it's at the end, is that what you intended, at the very end of that sentence?
At the, to her point, on the MOA, right at the beginning, there are blanks for inserting a date that says 2025. I think that would just be a simple strike through in correction. That would be.
I'm also wondering, though, if you enter the MOA, MOA, that's right, now, that just means that's when it was signed. It doesn't mean that that's when I have to hire the person.
It's an
Because we have MOAs that
That's an execution date of the document.
right.
Is it supposed to be MOU?
It's MO.
It says
The motion says MOU.
It's
the
supposed to be
document says
MOA.
memorandum of agreement.
Yeah.
We can fix that.
Agreement or understanding, it doesn't
Yeah. So it's de minimis, we'll consider it MOA.
And we don't need to amend it.
We don't need to amend that.
Because you'll be signing it today, so that reflects the day that you sign it.
So,
But our passage can include the direction of a start date.
so your motion to amend, and let me ask you for clarification.
Okay.
Motion to approve establishment of a junior high track program
As
and
of-
MOU starting July 1st, 2026, right?
That's accurate, yes.
Okay. All right, so that would be the effective date of the MOU, and that would be the effective date of the start of the track program, if the motion to amend passes. If the amendment were to say, motion to approve establishment of a junior high track program starting July 1st, 2026, comma, and a MOU, then we would be approving tonight a certain date to start the track program, and we'd be approving the MOU tonight, or the MOA tonight.
Then we need a comma. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we need to insert that language in the proper place in the sentence. Right now, it's appended to the end.
I don't want to open a can of worms here, but if we sign an MOU, are we then obligated to spend that money? Will the union say we have to hire those positions?
I'll defer to Dr. Houck on this one, but I believe they have this. If they hire, they hire on these salary schedules.
Yep.
But if they don't hire, it's just like the teacher's
Okay.
contract. If they don't hire,
Okay.
They're not obligated to pay.
But they won't say to us, you have to fill those positions. I guess no, because we already have open
Well,
positions anyway.
we can't fill positions for kids that don't exist.
Okay.
Like, we can't hire coaches if we don't have a
Have the
team.
program.
The program
Right.
doesn't commence until 7/1/26.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Another thing that we could do is just take the MOA off of the motion and deal with that later when we get to it. Because there's, we've got budget considerations for next year.
I'd
too.
feel safer that way since it's a union-involved document. Remove that, just approve the program starting 7/1. And we can leave the budget in there so that the administration can plan for that.
Okay, so we already have a motion and a second to amend the main motion. We need to dispense with that first.
Yep.
So if approved, that goes on to the end of the sentence. We have another motion to amend to strike the words "and MOU."
Yep, I will try to
Okay,
recite that.
and then we can dispense with that one.
All right, so I'll make a motion to, yes.
Hold on. All right, so we have an amendment on the floor. So you're going to make a motion
I'll make a motion to dispense
to
of
amend the motion.
okay. I'll make a motion to amend the motion on the floor
All right,
to state that we will approve a junior high track program commencing 7/1/26 and to remove the MOA from the motion.
all right. Is there a second to that amendment?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, Director McKinney moves and Director Meese seconds the motion. All right, we're striking the words "and MOU." All right. Any discussion about striking the words "and MOU"
No.
in the main motion? All right. Let me see here. Are you ready on that one? Motion to amend the motion on the floor to approve establishment of a junior high track program commencing July 1st and remove.
Motion to amend the motion on the floor.
Remove
Remove the MOA. Yeah, that's good. Good job.
and remove and MOU.
MOA is the
MOA,
attachment.
Okay, all right.
Good work.
All right. Any further discussion on that? Okay. All right, so we're going to vote on this as a whole. So the amended motion, actually, I think what we've got to do,
We have to.
the motion to amend is on the floor, and that first one is adding the phrase "starting July 1st, 2026." So we have a subsequent motion to strike the words MOA. Let's just take them in order.
Yeah, we have to approve the amendment first, and then we can
Yeah, let's
vote on the
take
motion.
let's take the first amendment
The main
first.
motion.
We're going to add the words "starting July 1st, 2026." I think we won't violate any parliamentary processes if we do that. Just take it back to.
We have to vote on two amendments and then the motion?
Yeah, we'll have two amendments and then go return to the main motion. Motion to amend the main motion to approve the establishment of a junior high program starting July 1st, 2026. Strike the rest of that on that motion. We'll take that up on a secondary motion. Okay. All right. Any further discussion on this motion to amend?
So
All right.
once we vote on that,
That amends the main motion by adding the words,
That adds the date.
start date July 1st, 2026.
okay, but if we approve that, is our next vote then on the amendment of the amendment?
So
The next one will
I
be
think that,
the additional.
I think what we'll have to do
motion to
is
implement the MOA.
deal with the secondary motion and, you know, to deal with the amendment to strike the words "and MOA." Okay?
No, you didn't answer my question. We've got an amendment on the floor. We're going to be voting on that.
Right.
If we vote yes, does that then take us to the next amendment? Or is it a matter we vote no, and then that takes us to the next amendment?
This was the first amendment on the floor, so we need to vote on that by procedure.
Okay.
Then I'll make the second motion to strike the MOA, and then that becomes the main.
So no matter what the vote is on this motion, we will then be going to this second amendment.
Right.
We'll amend it again.
Right.
We have to take them in order of presentation.
Okay. You good with that?
I would think if this amendment gets voted down, then we're back to the original motion.
Correct.
And we don't move on to the amendment, to this amendment.
So if this motion is defeated, then the next one, to strike the words MOA, we would take that up. Because then this motion would return to motion to approve establishment of junior high track program and MOU. And there's a motion to strike the words MOU.
So it really doesn't matter how we vote on this amendment.
Why do you say that?
Because whether we vote it down or vote for it, we're going to the amendment of the amendment. If I understood you right.
Well, I did say that, and then I said, I think that probably the better way to do it would be to just take them in order.
Let's just pass the original agreement and move on.
Okay.
Why don't we table it and add it to the
No.
next meeting?
Nice try.
Or you could defeat both of the amendments, and someone can offer another
bringing it
amendment
back.
that's
We're gonna have
that's
a
a lot
special
cleaner.
meeting.
All right, so we need to
You ready to
debate
move
the first
forward?
one.
Yes, I
And then
understand.
continue it.
All right, so,
Robert's rules is fun.
all right, so we are motion to amend, the main motion to approve the establishment of junior high program with a start date, and MOA with a start date of July 1st, 2026. Actually, all that should really say is add the words, start date of 2026. The July 1st, 2026.
Yeah, approve should not be in there.
This is a motion to amend, so it should say motion to amend, and this will be amending the main motion, to add the words with a start date of 2026. July 2026, right. Okay, that's the main motion. Any discussion on that? So if we approve this, those words get added to the main motion. Okay?
Yeah, I disagree with this motion, and I feel that we should start the exhibition games in the spring.
Okay. Any further discussion?
The only reason I've kind of leaned more towards just doing it with the next budget is because I don't want to set a precedent. I don't want us to look like we don't hold to what we as a board decide in the beginning of the year and all that. So we already know we want to support it. I feel the same thing you do with the urgency. If, for the kids that are moving from 8th to 9th and like getting them introduced to it, I understand. So we're just going to believe that they're going to stay interested in, new and exciting things when they get to the high school. But I just feel better that this is the proper way to handle it. And we know our coaches are ready. They're still going to be ready in the summer, to start planning for it. And they'll start planning for it now, just knowing that we've already approved it, because they're excited to do it. So I'm excited to support it. I just think we need to support it in the right manner.
Okay. Any further discussion? You ready to vote on the amendment? Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Question.
Yes.
Do either of you have kids that this applies to?
Junior high track, no.
I do.
You can't vote. You can't vote.
I do as well.
I just voted on the district field
Yeah.
trip.
You should have reclused yourself.
I asked, specifically asked.
I don't think you have to recuse yourself on that.
I mean,
That would,
technically.
that would exclude me from everything.
everything.
Not necessarily.
Field trips
Yeah.
and band and
Necessarily.
chorus.
And I couldn't vote on the chorus one
There's,
earlier.
there's no financial gain or impropriety or ethics issues associated with
I
any
had asked-
personal benefit.
I had asked Solicitor Pratt that question before, and he told me I did not have to recuse myself.
There was an instance where I had to ask him too.
If it deals with your child specifically, it would.
I think it's more in the sense
So
of
if we had a
conflict of
motion,
contracts.
if we had a motion to provide a specific benefit to Director Meese's child, she would have to recuse herself. But this is being offered to everyone in the middle school.
And his child.
Yeah.
Not-
And
That
but
is where
all.
the issue.
Not named specifically, though.
We're
This
not
is- this is
passing
for the
anything
entire student
specifically for
body.
him.
Why are you just pointing at me?
No, because I'm just making it, this is a legal issue.
It's not a legal issue.
Yes, it is.
That would exclude me from practically everything that we vote
Well,
on
if
as
it
a
does-
board member because I had kids all throughout the district.
I can't help that.
Well, then what's the point of being a
Solicitor
board member?
Pratt has said otherwise to me.
I'll take responsibility if admonished by the solicitor. We're not providing any specific benefit to any individual. This is being offered to the whole school. If we were voting on something that specifically provided benefit to either Director Hogan, Director Meese, or Director McKinney's child, then I think that would be a conflict because they're voting specifically on behalf of their own child. But this is an offering to the whole school.
I agree with that.
I disagree, but go on.
If we can ask the solicitor, and if he says I'm wrong about that, I'll publicly apologize.
Well, then we'll have to revote.
Yeah. So, all right, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote. This is on the motion to amend.
Five yes, 3 no.
Motion carries.
Do I need to
We
restate
also
my-
have a motion to strike the words "and MOU." Motion's made by, let's see, McKinney,
Yep.
and seconded by Director Meese, to strike the words "and MOU." Is there any discussion on that motion to amend?
Just a technicality, the document says MOA. I don't know if that matters.
The document says MOA. The motion that's on our screens here said MOU.
Yeah, you're correct in that.
Yeah.
We're editing the motion.
Okay. All right. Ready to vote on that motion to amend, to
Yes.
strike the words "and MOU"? All right. Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote. Are you ready to do that?
Is the motion correct?
Oh, let's see. To amend the motion on the floor to approve this. No, actually, that will be the main motion. So we're just voting here to amend the motion on the floor to remove
You copy that so you can paste it. That'll be the main
and
motion.
to remove the words in quotation marks "and MOU." Or you could say to strike the words "and MOU." Okay, the words here that says to approve establishment of a junior high track program commencing on July 1st, and you can remove that from this, because this is just a motion to amend the main motion.
Just motion to strike the words MOA from.
Yeah, motion to strike the words MOA from the motion. That's all it really needs to say. And, put and in front of the MOA, the word and. And I would probably put it in quotation marks. Board docs may not allow you to do two motions in it.
Okay, see if we have it right there.
Put the word and in front of MOA, and that should be MOU, since it actually says MOU on the board docs, on the main motion.
Changing it to MOU instead of MOA.
Yeah, and then MOU, yeah.
She has and in front of strike.
Yeah, that and needs to be moved in front
Okay,
of MOU.
can you read the whole motion as you want it to
Yeah.
be?
Motion to amend the main motion by striking the words, quotation mark, and MOU. That's it. All right. Is everyone clear on that? So when this is done, the main motion, if it's approved, the main motion will say motion to approve the establishment of a junior high program starting July 1st, 2026, as amended previously. If this is defeated, the words and MOU will remain in there, in that motion. All right. Any discussion on that? All right, are you ready to vote on the amendment?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Seven yes, one no.
Motion to amend carries. We return to the main motion as amended. Motion to approve the establishment of a junior high track program starting July 1st, 2026. Any further discussion?
I just appreciate your attention to detail to protect us legally here. It's cumbersome, but necessary.
Thank you. All right, no further discussion? Ready to vote? Okay, Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Seven yes, one no.
Motion carries. That was cumbersome, but I think we should applaud. We just started a junior high track program starting in the summertime.
Congrats, kids.
Starting in the middle school. All right, Dr. Weisling should be very happy about that, as well as the members of the public who advocated for that. All right, we had Have we dispensed with all the business?
We still have 9.07, which I added to the agenda.
I got to go back to that now. Where did we have that? I wrote that down on here. All right, 9.07 is the settlement agreement. I need to refresh my screen here too.
Yeah, you'll need to refresh.
Yeah. Agenda item 9.07 is the settlement agreement 11182-025 between district and parents of a student. This is a confidential matter. We will not be able to deliberate publicly on this item. So is there a motion to approve agenda item 9.07?
I'll make a motion to approve 9.07.
Director McKinney moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director Kindig seconds the motion. Mrs. Almond, please poll the vote.
Eight yes.
Motion carries. Very well. Let's take us to reports. Dover Eagle Foundation. Director Hogan or Director McKinney, do you have a report?
I have a big announcement the second week in a row. We're having a popcorn fundraiser.
Shocked.
At the DoverEagleFoundation.com. We have 4 days left, so get your popcorn. There's still available bricks for the memorial that the Dover Eagle Foundation is responsible for putting in place. Just remember that the money that we raise is for grants that the teachers use towards supplies and things that they need, and also for scholarships to those that apply to the, for the students for after high school.
Can I add one thing? The popcorn fundraiser also has spirit wear that is customizable. Am I right? That if you wanted to buy Dover gear, and you can actually customize what the gear says, and that's. And we also did award the grants to the teachers. I'm not going to remember them, but they're on our Facebook page and they're on our Instagram page as well. So they went around to each of the school and awarded the grants to those teachers.
Thank you, Dr. Hout. Any questions? All right, next is York Adams Academy report. Director Emig.
Yeah, it's with sadness that I state that the current president of York Adams, Ellen Freibrick, who was a member of the York Suburban School Board, has, after 20-plus years, retired from school board and York Adams Academy. And we are very sad that she did that, but she said she had enough. So, and our next meeting will not be in November, it will be in December. And as of October 28th, we have 28 graduates so far.
Excellent. Any questions for Director Emig? All right, now the York County School of Technology report that comes to me. We have some recognitions for some students. The following students have been selected as Students of the Month for October 2025. Each academy selects students based on exemplary academic, technical, behavioral, and attendance standards, student leadership, participation in extracurricular activities, and contributions to the school. And each academy within York Tech selects students that are also leaders as well. Kiera Mar Baez Santiago is a 10th grader working in collision repairs from York City. Stephen Sprout from Dover is an 11th grader in network systems and cybersecurity, Student of the Month there. And then Brennan Blasliuk, 11th grader in culinary arts from Southwestern School District. They at the last meeting, there was a presentation on AI, which is very interesting because we're also dealing with AI issues here in policy here within the district. That was very informative. They're using a tool referred to as Magic School. Is that the current or the proper term for that?
I believe it is, yes.
And so that's the one they have selected. The upcoming, they just finished with their school play last week. I didn't get the opportunity to attend that, but hopefully some folks had the opportunity to do that. Their next meeting is, now they're polling to see if we're going to even have a quorum because it was slated to come up on Thanksgiving Day. So the date has been moved to Tuesday, November 25th. And we're checking to see if we're going to have a quorum for that. So there's a possibility that we will not. Right now, I think only about 4 people have responded. Their practical nursing program graduation is December 16th, 6 p.m. in their auditorium. And the January meeting is going to be January 22nd. That concludes the report there. Any questions? All right. Next one's York Learning Center. Director Miller is not here. Is anyone prepared to do that report on her behalf? All right. Legislative action report, Director Whitmer.
Okay, well, we don't have to talk about the budget anymore. So I just want to say that I feel like things are really ramping up with cell phone policies in schools. I'm sure, Dr. Houck, you probably have seen some things come through the pipeline. I was listening in on a hearing this week, a room full of representatives from all over the state, probably more than 40 of them actually, with different panels, PSCA, PSBA, teachers, and like professionals, and I think psychology world weighing in. Everybody is unanimous that we need to have something happen now. Like, it's just gone too far. Kids are not learning. Kids are distracted. It's becoming such a big issue for teachers to be able even just to teach. So they're just weighing those, what does it look like? Some states have decided full cell phone ban across the state. I think the different comments being heard is some people want it to be just legislation so that there's some kind of accountability and backing and, a clear policy around it. Others want it to be at a local level where every board decides, and that can be changed all the time. So that's, I think, the biggest concern is how to implement at this point. But many schools that have implemented a bell-to-bell policy where cell phones do not get used from the start of the first bell till after the last bell ends, they're seeing dramatic changes within their kids. The testimonies included, the year prior, the kids would sit at tables during lunch and whatnot and just all be on their phones, not interacting, not talking. Now they're playing games at the tables, they're laughing, they're like just enjoying life like a normal kid. And I had a moment where I was like, my heart was so sad. Like we have to actually tell these kids like how to enjoy life, because they've just gotten these things so early on introduced into their lives and they don't even know like what they're missing. So I think this is good. This is all very good change happening. So other than that, there's a lot of things happening in the education world legislatively. I just, I don't have it all printed out, but there's the new policy on whenever there's such as a weapon. I think Dr. Houck sent that out as well. So when they're asking for more transparency when there's an event or something that has happened in a school, that parents would be notified, not find out about it through the news media and that kind of thing, which is, it's good to have that communication between your parents and your district. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Director Whitmer? All right, next is the ICDC report, Director Wolverton.
Yeah, we have nothing to report. We did not have a meeting last month.
Okay, thank you. PSBA report, Director Meese.
So the only thing I really wanted to highlight is the new and advanced required school director training with the 2 new directors coming on board, and then the reappointed directors. I wanted to just remind everybody that according to law, newly elected and appointed school board directors are required to complete 5 hours of training, and re-elected or reappointed school board directors must complete 3 hours of training. So the new school directors will quickly get a packet from PSBA in the mail. It'll be a folder with like pockets, and it'll have all kinds of great information in there for them. I really like their marketing tools. I think they're really good, and they're easy to understand. There will be new school director training on December 13th at PSBA headquarters. There will also be virtual training on January 10th. And then there'll be another training at Upper Marion High School on January 24th. So all that information will be in that packet. Other than that, that's all I have.
I will also be sending the new directors and the returning directors a letter. I have it ready to go. It'll be coming to you shortly with all of those dates outlined for you.
All right, any other questions for Director Meese? All right, Dr. Houck, Superintendent's report.
It's going to be a little shorter because the students stole most of what I was going to say, as did Dr. Wiesling last month. So it's a little short, but we had some beautiful Veterans Day celebrations. I know President Conley spoke about those last time, but I just wanted to reiterate that students at the high school they hosted a panel of Vietnam veterans, and they got to speak to them, ask them questions. They brought some artifacts that the students were able to see. And so that was a very beautiful, I think, opportunity for those kids to talk to those gentlemen and women. The Students Against Drunk Driving Club also held a session after school on Veterans Day to make holiday cards for troops that are serving overseas. Dover students from across the district sent thank you cards and artwork for the Veterans Day breakfast that was held at the community building. The veterans were able to take the artwork home, and any remaining pieces will be donated to local organizations such as the Senior Center, Providence Place, New Hope, and the American Legion. So some very beautiful artwork coming from our kids for Veterans Day. And then, of course, you heard about the Field of Flags celebration at Weigelstown. It was on the local news channels, so we got some good publicity for that. We did hold parent conferences. I calculated we had 2,601 total conferences held. So that was a good showing. Our Dover CTE students have been taking part in YCAL job shadowing events. They are visiting local employers to learn about the world of work. Fall sessions are wrapping up, but then we'll have a new round of that happening in January. On November 10th, 11th, and 12th, our sixth graders traveled to JA BizTown. That is an educational program that teaches them about businesses, economics, and civic responsibility. It's a hands-on simulated town experience. So we want to thank JA BizTown for their partnership, and to our sixth grade teachers for preparing this trip. A special thanks to Mrs. Baylor, Mrs. Eby, and Mr. Pittman, who coordinated that experience. Congratulations to Naya Dossi. She is our newest graduate from YAA. So we already have one this year. And then again, just as another reminder, this weekend is the fall play. It's Anne of Green Gables. It's at 7 o'clock Friday night and Saturday night. The tickets are $8 for adults, $5 for students and seniors. You can purchase tickets online, and they will be sold at the door with an additional $2. But we do hope to see everyone there. And that's it for today.
Thank you, Dr. Houck. Any questions for Dr. Houck? Second public comment period. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to present. Anyone seeking to make public comment?
Kara Hetrick. I'm actually going to just speak quickly to the grant winners that won grants, the teachers that won grants from the Dover Eagle Foundation. I feel like they deserve to be recognized. It's great, and one of the things that we're trying to do with the Dover Eagle Foundation is raise awareness, and so we need to celebrate our teachers as much as we can, and so we're very proud of them. And we did give them their awards this week, so I just want to recognize them again. I'm just going to tell you their names and kind of what they won their grant for. So we have Wendy Bear from Weigelstown Elementary. She got a grant for flexible seating options in her classroom. Jennifer Kessler from Weigelstown Elementary for her 3D pens. Elizabeth Meyer from Weigelstown Elementary for a boom card subscription and decks. Katie Schaefer from Live Elementary for flexible seating options in her classroom. John Mark Murphy for engineering plastic filters, lessons from the Youth Engineering Solutions Program. Mandy Oswalt at the high school for the CAB community events, materials that she can use with that. And Brittany Marsh, also at the high school, she's going to be purchasing lawn maintenance equipment for her landscaping and horticulture classes to be used when they're doing the courtyard. So just wanted to mention all of those teachers, and we appreciate them very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hetrick. Anyone else seeking to make public comment?
Doug McGurn. I just wanted to congratulate DEF as well. I was a vice president for several years with the Dover Education Foundation. Teachers can actually get grants and scholarships for students and the grants to the teachers. So it's a great program, and like Kara said, it's great to bring awareness to that program so we can help our teachers and help our students. I was just reading the public comment protocol, and it does say the board uses the public comment period as an opportunity to listen to but not debate issues or enter a question and answer session with the speaker. I guess I just have concerns. Last month, why did a member of the board engage and ask a direct question to a student during the public comment discussion on the AP history textbook? This student was, as well as other students and parents, were advocating for themselves and for their teachers. Why was this allowed? And why was there a concern by this board member? To directly engage and question a student oversteps any authority or power by any board member and makes the lines very blurry, in my opinion. This behavior could also prevent others from wanting to speak up or voice their opinion, which is also concerning to me, as well as many others in the community that I've had discussion with after last month's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. McGurn. Anyone else seeking to make public comment? All right, public comment period is closed. Comments and observations from the board members. I'll start with you, Director Hogan.
So I have two things. One is I'd just like to say that whether it's in season or whether it's out of season, if there's a concern or a need by a student or an organization and it has merit to it, I'm going to advocate for it. And a prime example would be the girls wrestling team was out of season. They came here for exhibition and we approved it. So whether it's a choir trip or whether it's DECA, if it has merit, I'm going to listen and I'm going to make the decision the way that I feel it should be made. But other than that, I would just like to say, Heidi and Carmen, we're going to miss you guys. I don't know of a proper send-off, for you guys. I don't know what that entails. It seems like so minimal just to say.
Poinsettia.
I know, 4 years, 8 years, however long you guys have been here. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
You're going to be missed. And I just have to say, nothing against Carmen, but Heidi, your business astuteness is very much appreciated, especially in the committee meetings that I've been in with you. You just run that excellent.
I'm glad to be appreciated.
Okay. You're appreciated.
Can you say that again in my seat?
It's on mine.
All right.
I have nothing.
Nothing?
I have nothing.
Okay.
So I'm going to start out echoing what Alan said. Carmen and Heidi, I'm going to miss you a lot. You guys provided, up until your last vote, you just, the attention and the effort you put into everything. It was always always about the kids, and I'm going to miss sitting next to you. My next two neighbors may not be as good looking, but I do appreciate them too. I look forward to working with them. Yeah, so I'm going to miss just working with you. You guys were so dedicated and committed. You're going to be missed by the community, I think. Also, we had another Dover student achieve the rank of Eagle Scout. That makes at least 5 this year. Will Comegna is a senior. He's also on the swim team and the track and field team, and I was his leader for many, many years since he was small. So congrats, Will. That's another outstanding Dover achievement. And see everybody at Anna of Green Gables. I'll be there.
Excellent. Director Meese.
Thank you guys for all the positive affirmations and kind words and thoughts. And honestly, the 4 years went by very quickly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know that you guys that are halfway through are like, ooh, but yeah, time flies. It really did. So I appreciate Dr. Hauk and the rest of the administration. I appreciate you coming on board, Dr. Mitzel. I think we have a great team. We really do. So I see great things ahead. So I appreciate you guys, and you're all amazing. So good things. I think I'm leaving on a positive note, honestly. Yeah. I feel good about where we're at as a district. I really do. With our leadership and our board. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Whitmer.
Yeah, thank you. We also had some blessings. So that was from the administration. Thank you. And Mr. McKinney came in and gave that. Thank you. Yeah, so I really actually think she took everything I was going to say. But I learned a lot, and it was all worth it. I mean, every hour, late hour, every minute spent trying to figure things out on my own or just coming here and asking questions. I know I do that a lot. Sometimes play devil's advocate. And so I just think it's just good for the community to invest in their, in their, these things that affect them, which until you don't know, until you know, you don't realize how big of a deal the school board is for your community, and it's a worthy investment. And I was thankful for every minute that I could learn and grow, and appreciate everybody who steps up to the plate to do it, because it's a lot of work, but it's worth it for the kids and the community. So, and I do appreciate, just like Director Meese said, the administration and everybody here and how we work together, and it's cordial, it's good relationships and friendships. I appreciate that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Wolverton.
Nothing.
Nothing. Dr. Hauk.
Just reiterating to thank you both for your service, because it really is an act of service. It's can be a very thankless job. It's volunteer. I hope your significant others, your family, and your loved ones are going to welcome you back on Thursdays. I hope they take you out to dinner or do something fun on those days. But we cannot thank you enough for your service to our school. I do hope that you learned a lot and that you will continue to advocate for the kids that go to school here. Did I say Thursdays? Oh my goodness. Tuesdays. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. It used to be Tuesday, Thursday.
It used to be.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I want to thank both of you. Director Meese, the energy you brought to this brand new committee this year is incredible. I mean, you're going to be a tough act to follow, and a tough act to match, even from the other committees. The energy and the amount of detail and the amount of issues y'all have carried, I think it's impressive. I also want to echo the fact that you bring business acumen to the board. That's needed. It's necessary, and the way you speak up when you need to, and fight for your issues, that is admirable, and I appreciate that. And I've been with you and against you. Going against you is tough, and it's not comfortable.
We're ending on a positive note, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I have a lot of respect for you. I appreciate the commitment of your time. over the last 4 years. You've made a difference, and the tenor of the board has changed tremendously, and you've been a big part of that. I appreciate that. And for you, Director Whitmer, I don't think you're cognizant of all that you've done. And the way you bring a different perspective to things, I think, is so important to challenge groupthink, because it's easy to fall in the groupthink where everybody's nodding their head in the same direction. But causing us to look at something in a different way, that's important. And there's been things that you said that I have both thought, and other times I've said it out loud. I never thought of looking at it that way. And so I appreciate the fact that you brought that. And I mean, I don't want to mention all that you've done here. It'd be a long list, but if you will just think back over your history in the last 4 years. You know, you were on here because you ran as a write-in, I think, first time, right? For a 2-year policy to fill someone else's unexpired term. And then you were appointed for another 2 years. You didn't have to accept that, but you did. You stepped up and took that. And I know that you've been challenged in many ways, and you've stood through all of that, and I appreciate that. So I think you know what's behind those comments as well, without me saying those things here, but I appreciate your leadership in that way, and you definitely have made a difference, no question about it. I was to the Dover Eagle Foundation. Just to be fair, I don't think I've ever seen as much activity with the Dover Eagle Foundation since I've been living in the community. So for the leadership and the volunteers that are involved in that, it's pretty impressive just to go through your website and see all the things that you're doing and recognizing people every year. I think that makes a good positive statement for Dover as a community. It supports the school, and you're active in fundraising. I haven't seen this kind of fundraising, you know, up until this time, and so I hope your campaign is highly successful here. And the number of things you have on your website and the initiatives you're dealing with, I think that's very admirable. So, yeah, well, I kind of get that sense, but it's pretty good. So keep going on that. I think it's healthy for this school and the community. I wish Director Miller would be here to be able to make her comments, but we'll be in touch with you guys further. Because she's got some things she's planning, so we'll get back with you.
Is there
guys
going to be
as
a
well.
mom on my front porch?
Oh, I don't know.
You know
I never know, because I don't know how she thinks of all these things.
She's very creative.
She is one of the most thoughtful people I've ever
I know
met,
she
and she
is.
thinks of all kinds of things. She heads up our teacher recognition thing, you know, on Teacher Appreciation Day, you know, all of those kinds of things. And so she does a great job on that. So I wish she would have an opportunity to have some comments to make to you in public, but maybe she'll take the opportunity next month. Well, that takes us to the end of our agenda. Are there any last minute comments or concerns about anything? For future meetings, we have meetings scheduled December 2nd for the board reorganization meeting, where we will swear in these two gentlemen that have just been elected. It ramps up pretty quick, so get as much of that homework done up front as our advice, because once we hit January, it's hang on for the ride, because budget season gets sometimes it can get pretty energetic.
Director Conley,
Yes.
didn't you say there was an executive session after this meeting?
Yes, we will have an executive session right after this meeting. After the reorganization meeting, which is a very scripted meeting, there's a format that's set by policy and state law on what has to be done there. The board, the administration is going to provide you with all of that here in the coming days, as she stated. Right after that meeting, we're going to have a regular board meeting, which we did not. Did we do that last year?
Yes.
We did. Okay, so
I think we only approved the calendar.
yeah, so we're going to have a regular board meeting. I just heard you mention the calendar draft. Is it out to the whole board yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
Still working on it.
okay. So that calendar will be coming to you, I'm thinking, pretty shortly. She knows more about that than I do.
Yeah, it's pretty much ready. I just had
Yeah.
to switch the May dates.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah, we'll be ready to go for sure.
Okay, right. And then, was there any discussion about executive session that night? I thought somebody said something about that.
The orientation.
The orientation, that's right. We'll be doing orientation training for the new board members that night. That's not a public meeting, to your benefit, so you can ask all the questions you think are dumb, which are really not dumb. You need to ask all the questions you can think of. All right, that's it for future meeting announcements. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Director Emig moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Director McKinney seconds the motion. Any opposition? Hearing none,